Hello my darlings, it's Thursday afternoon, actually the 4th of April, and the first book that we're going to review this month is The Magic Cottage by James Herbert. I absolutely love James's books, and I thought, why not start off the magical month of April with a James, a classic. I absolutely adore you, James. So, Magic Cottage was written in 1986 when I was 10 years old. In fact, that was the year I turned 10, because it came out the 1st of January 1986. And it was by Hodder and Stoughton. And the edition I have here is from 1999. And it's done by Pan Books. So, as you well know, this is a beautifully written book. Of course, it's a James, and I'm bound to say that, but I do actually love this book and I love his work. I'll just read you a bit of the blurb on the back. We thought we'd found our haven, a cottage deep in the heart of the forest. Charming, maybe, a little run down, aren't we all? But so peaceful. That was the first part of the magic. Midge's paintings and my music soared to new heights of creativity. That was another part of the magic. Our love for each other, well, that became the supreme magic. But the cottage had an alternative side. The bad magic. Ooh. What happened to us there was horrendous beyond belief. The healings, the crazy sect who wanted our home, they wanted the home for themselves, the hideous creatures that crawled from the nether regions, and the bats. Oh God, the bats! Even now those terrible things seem impossible to me. Yet they happened. Remember with fear. Ooh. Actually, yes, it is quite the horror book. It sneaks up on you. It's very creepy crawly, as are most of the characters. Very creepy crawly. Anyway, we start with Midge and Mike. They're our main characters. They're a couple, obviously, who happen upon this beautiful cottage. It is in Cantrip, near Bunbury, in Hampshire. A tiny little village with the most perfect rose-covered cottage you ever did see. Or is it? Midge was so excited to have found the cottage of their dreams. Could it be of their nightmares? There you are. The roundhouse, owned previously by Flora Chaldine, who had recently died. What the real estater forgot to tell them was that she died in the kitchen. Yeah, absolutely. So they go off to see the cottage. Obviously, they go and fall madly in love with it. And they move in. And they say, well, it's a bit of a fixer-upper, but not to worry, because we've got plenty of money from work that we've previously done. And we can take a bit of time off work, so we can do it up. Mysteriously, the cottage has other ideas, and it starts to fix itself, much to the bemusement of Midge and Mike, who seem to think that, well, perhaps we're so good at DIY that we're amazing and we've fixed more than we thought. No, the cottage, it feeds on energy, on good energy. Also bad. Quite scary. Seems to bring out the creative sides though. Yeah, the music is amazing, and Midge's illustrations, because she's an illustrator for children's books, and she just seems to really flow with the work, and Midge is doing some wonderful music, so it can't be all bad, can it? Everyone seems to be drawn to the cottage, even the unwelcome ones who we will meet. The woods can hide a multitude of sins, can it not? Indeed. Mike and Midge, as I say, start to fix the cottage. I wrote some notes for you so I won't forget. Along with the cottage healing itself, any injured animal that turns up at the cottage is suddenly mysteriously well again, as though a healing potion has been produced in thin air and has fixed the little creatures of the forest. It has quite a spooky charm, does the cottage, and Mike and Midge hardly ever leave except when food runs low and they have to go to the village shop. But that's when all the trouble starts. Well, it should have been a normal shopping trip, turned into the day from hell. Mike, Midge's partner, happens upon a young girl from the Synergist religious cult, who are currently residing at Croughton Hall, which isn't too far away from the cottage. These two buildings they're linked in more ways than one. It seems that Croughton Hall has been turned into a Synergist temple, and Mike gets the feeling that they will stop at nothing to recruit new members into the religious order, and he really wants nothing to do with it. Unfortunately, Midge starts to get a little bit friendly with some of the girls that are in this cult. You see, Mike unwittingly helped a girl called Gilly and one called Sandy when they were cornered by the local village youths, and the cult leader uses this to get close to Mike and Midge. Mike wises up immediately and wants to put distance between the cult and himself and Midge, but Midge, being quite, I would say she's really naive and she's innocent, and she can't see any harm in being friends with the girls. Well, you heard the saying, if you give someone an inch, they'll take a mile. Well, this guy, the leader, he does more than that. Oh, not a good person, not a very nice person either, but he seems to have some kind of hold over Midge to such an extent that she can't see anything other than the leader of Croughton Hall, the Synergists, and all she wants to do constantly is be there, and Mike can't understand why. I'm not going to spoil it for you because that's quite pivotal to the plot as to why they want Midge, and it's all connected to the cottage. But as I say, I am not going to spoil it for you because it's such a lovely read. It's a very quick read. It's not one of James's longer books, but it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun. It's something that I would read on a dark autumn evening, you know, during a really intense thunderstorm. So like I say, I'm definitely not going to spoil it for you, but it has quite the dark ending. It's very, very spooky, and it's deliciously devilish in its ending. because it's not what you expect. It's so much fun. You know what, I read this so long ago and I've just reread it to do this review, and honestly I just want to go back and read it again because it's just so much fun. It really, really is. It definitely will make you believe in the power of good versus evil, and there are parts in this book that will have you crying because it is so raw. And I'll tell you for why it's raw. It's quite the magical novel, and it's all about love and loss and forgiveness. And if you've ever lost someone dear to you, and this novel certainly shows you the way to heal, and I would say give it a go, you won't regret it. I'm going to read a couple of pages to you because, well, it'll give you an idea of what you're heading in for. And it isn't at the end, it's right at the beginning. And the first chapter is called Magic. Do you believe in magic? I mean, real magic, the capital M of magic. Not rabbits out of hats, the disappearing of sequined ladies, no. Or silver spheres that dance in the air, no. The real stuff, not tricks, not illusions. I mean spells, enchantments, witchery even. Damaged limbs that heal overnight. Animals that trust in humans. Paintings that come alive. Shadowy figures that aren't really there. More. There's more, but it's too soon to tell. Maybe, probably, you don't believe. Maybe you half believe. Or maybe you want to believe. A kind of magic I once knew, long before we took the cottage. It came from powder or pills or shared with friends. But that was just delusional. And a waste. I learned of real magic when we came to Gramarye, that's the name of the cottage, Gramarye. That was good magic. Yet everything has its opposite, and I found that there too. If you like, and if you're willing to suspend your belief for a while, as I eventually had to, I'll tell you about it. That gives you it's so intense. It gives you the feeling of what you're heading into. And that was page 3. The next page I'm going to read you is 7. And this is Gramarye, the cottage. Finally getting to the cottage. You've seen the film, you've read the book. You know the one, there've been so many. The young couple find the home of their dreams. The wife's ecstatic, the husband's happy, but more controlled. They move in. The kids, usually one of each, tear around the empty rooms. But we know there's something sinister about the place, because we've read the blurb and paid our money, haven't we just? Slowly, oh so slowly, things start to happen. There's something nasty in the locked room at the top of the old creaky stairs. Or something lurks in the cellar below, which is possibly itself the gateway to hell. You know the story. At first, Dad's oblivious to his family going nuts around him. He doesn't believe in the supernatural or things that go splodge in the night. To him, there really is no such thing as a vampire. Until something happens to him, that is. Then all hell breaks loose. You know, it's like you wrote the story yourself. Well, this is similar but different, you'll see. We drove down to Cantrip the following Tuesday. Our work style allows such freedom. Midge having rung the number in the ad the day before and finding it belonged to an estate agent, he told her a little more about the cottage. Not much, but enough to increase her enthusiasm. At present, it was unoccupied, the owner having died some months earlier. Yes, but they didn't tell you where. It had taken this long to have the deceased's affairs sorted out before the property could be put on the market. Doesn't that just fill you with absolute dread? Honestly, honest to God, it just makes you think, what am I letting myself in for? Well, I can assure you, you're going to be let in for one of the best reads you've ever had. If you like magic, if you like good and evil, if you like things that go splodge in the night, if you want to see your family go deranged with an evil sacred power, who holds the wand of destiny? Shall we find out? I would recommend that you give the Magic Cottage a ring. A ring? Yeah, rings are quite important. The ring of truth. You will find out. Honestly, I cannot recommend it enough. It is so much fun. Like I've said, give it a go. Have a nice glass of red wine and some decadent dark chocolate. Curl up in a corner. Take the phone off the hook and hand yourself over to the master. Oh yes. Thank you, James. Fantastic read. Lots and lots of fun. I definitely give this as haunted houses and magical cottages a straight 10 out of 10. You're going to absolutely love it. And I will say what I always do, my darlings. Happy readings and enjoy. And I know you're going to enjoy this book, and you're going to tell me that you've enjoyed it, because I know you're going to leave me some comments. Oh, well, I hope you do, telling me how much you enjoyed it, because I know I certainly did. So if you like what I do, you can give me a thumbs up, and if you really like what I do, you can always give me a follow and find out what else we'll be delving into during the month of April. Take care of yourselves, my darlings, and happy readings and enjoy.